The commutative law as a switch. The switch, when you add them up, it's the same answer when you're all done. The switch, when you multiply, then you'll get the same answer every time. A plus B equals B plus A. A times B equals B times A. The switch, when you add them up, it's the same answer when you're all done. The switch, when you multiply, then you'll get the same answer every time. A plus B equals B plus A. A times B equals B times A. This man came for a witness. Hic, venit in testimonium. This man came for a witness. Hic, venit in testimonium. A phrase is a group of words that does not contain both a subject and a verb, and may be used as a single part of speech. A phrase is a group of words that does not contain both a subject and a verb, and may be used as a single part of speech. Tell me about September 11th, 2001. On September 11th, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes. They flew 2 into the World Trade Center in New York City, and 1 into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. The 4th plane crashed into a Pennsylvania field on September 11th, 2001. On September 11th, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes. They flew 2 into the World Trade Center in New York City, and 1 into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. The 4th plane crashed into a Pennsylvania field on September 11th, 2001.
This is CC Cycle 3, Week 22. Tell me about September 11th, 2001. So it starts off with on September 11th, and so for that you're going to show number 11 with 2 fingers. On September 11th, 2001, terrorists hijacked 4 airplanes. They flew 2 into the World Trade Center in New York City. So you're just gonna pretend that you're a Statue of Liberty. And 1 into the Pentagon. So you just draw the Pentagon. In Washington, D.C., the 4th plane, crashed into a Pennsylvania field.
What does the theory of intelligent design rely on? The theory of intelligent design relies on the belief that life began as a result of intention and purpose. What does the theory of intelligent design rely on? The theory of intelligent design relies on the belief that life began as a result of intention and purpose.
This week we will be learning about all the deserts which are on the western side of the United States. The first one is the Mojave Desert, which is right here, followed by the Sonoran Desert, the one that's the most south, right here. The Colorado Desert, which is interesting because that's in California, not Colorado. The Painted Desert, which is the farthest east here. and then the Great Salt Lake Desert, which is kind of independent up here. So now I ask and you point, where is the Great Salt Lake Desert? Where is the Painted Desert? Where is the Colorado Desert? Where is the Sonoran Desert? And where is the Mojave Desert? And now I point and you tell me.
And here is our new song for this week. The Mojave Desert in eastern California, cross to Nevada and southern Utah, Painted Desert, northern Zona, northwest New Mexico. So let's all find the Sonoran Desert in southern Arizona, Colorado Desert in southern California, Great Salt Lake Desert, northwestern Utah, deserts of the United States. Timeline, this is my timeline. Age of industry, circa 1760 to circa 1969. James Cook sails to Australia and Antarctica. American Revolution and General George Washington. Madison's Constitution and the Bill of Rights. French Revolution. The Second Great Awakening. Louisiana Purchase and Lewis and Clark Expedition. Napoleon crowned Emperor of France. Liberation of South America. The War of 1812. The Missouri Compromise. Immigrants flock to America. The Monroe Doctrine, romantic period of the arts. Cherokee Trail of Tears, U.S. westward expansion. Marx publishes the Communist Manifesto. The Compromise of 1850 and the Dred Scott Decision. U.S. restores trade with Japan. British Queen Victoria's rule over India. Darwin publishes The Origin of Species. Lincoln's War between the states. Reconstruction of the southern states. Dominion of Canada. Otto von Bismarck unifies Germany. Boer Wars in Africa. The Spanish-American Wars. The Progressive Era. Australia becomes a Commonwealth. Mexican Revolution. World War I and President Wilson. Uh-oh. Lenin and the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. U.S. evangelist Billy Graham. Modern period of the arts. The Great Depression and the New Deal. World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Stalin and the USSR and the Katyn Massacre. United Nations formed. The Cold War. Gandhi and India's independence. Jewish state established. Mao and communist victory in China. Yes. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The Korean War. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement. Jim and Elizabeth Elliot, missionaries to Ecuador, the Antarctic Treaty, the Vietnam War. U.S. astronauts walk on the moon.
This is CC Cycle 3, Week 22 timeline. It starts out with the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And so we're just going to sign the first letter of each part there as an acronym NATO. So you're going to have N, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Then you have the Korean War, so you're just going to make a K sign, the Korean War. Then you have Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement. So you're signing Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement. So it's kind of like Bill of Rights we had before. This is rights, you're signing rights. The Antarctic, Jim and Elizabeth Elliot, missionaries to Ecuador. So you're gonna sign their last name. So Jim and Elizabeth Elliot, missionaries. You can have an M and put it over your heart, like they're warming your heart. Missionaries to Ecuador. This is how you sign Ecuador. Your E is kind of over your hand, Ecuador. The Antarctic Treaty. It's really cold in Antarctica, so you're just gonna go Antarctic Treaty. The Vietnam, you're gonna have a V. Vietnam War. U.S. astronauts. So you're gonna make an R sign, and that stands for rocket. So you're gonna like take off your rocket. U.S. astronauts, and you're gonna come down like this is the astronaut. Okay. U.S. astronauts. Walk on the moon. So you're just gonna make like a fist with your left hand, and then you're gonna walk on it like you're walking on the moon. U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. So let's do that from the beginning. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the Korean War, Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement, Jim and Elizabeth Elliot, missionaries to Ecuador, the Antarctic Treaty, the Vietnam War, U.S. astronauts walk on the moon. Good luck.
Hi, Brianna and Trenton.
Hi.
All right, so we're back studying probability. Do you remember what probability is?
It is chance.
Yeah.
Chance.
Yes. It's a study of chance. So
Yeah,
the likelihood of if something will happen or not. Okay, so today we're going to talk about pancakes. So I drew them on this paper here. So we have 6 pancakes. And this is regarding distribution. So basically I have 6 pancakes and 15 blueberries. So we're gonna use the 6 circles to represent the pancakes, and we'll use the die to represent the blueberries. So each roll will be a different blueberry. So whatever number we get on that die is the
which
pancake.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and start where the die go.
Okay.
All right. Oh, sorry. Here you go. And we're gonna go ahead and start. So. Got 1 in the first pancake, 1 blueberry in the second pancake, 3 blueberries in the third, 6 blueberries in the fourth, 2 blueberries in the fifth, and 2 blueberries in the sixth. So, what is the likelihood of getting 6 blueberries? We got 1, so
6
it was
15.
so it was 1 out of how many pancakes? 6, right?
6 pancakes.
So 1/6. So 6 blueberries is 1/6. Then less than 2 blueberries. How many had less than 2 blueberries, Trent?
What?
How many had less than 2 blueberries?
2 of them.
2. Okay, so that would be 2 out of 6, which is 1/3. What was the likelihood that you would get 1?
Or 1/6.
2/6, right? Because you've
No.
got 1. What's the likelihood of 1?
6.
All right, Trent, so an outlier is a result that doesn't seem to fit the pattern. So what was a result that we didn't ever get?
We didn't get 4 of 1
Yeah, so
or 0 of 1.
4 of 1 or 0 of 1, obviously. Oh, well, that could have happened. That's true. And another one that just seems kind of doesn't fit the pattern is the 6th, right? There's 6 in number 4. That's kind of strange. Or, yeah, 6 and 4 or 3 in the third one. So the distribution is the pattern of your results or your probabilities. So it looks like we have a high distribution of 2 in a pancake or 1 in a pancake. Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Trenton.
Bye.
The composer we will be listening to this week, Igor Stravinsky. He is Russian, born in 1882 and passed away in 1971. He went to law school but dropped out and became a composer. At the age of 31, he debuted The Rite of Spring, which caused a riot in the theater because of the more modern sounds that the audience was not used to. The harsh, short, and repetitive melodic fragments and pounding rhythms were too much for some ears. Fortunately, Debussy, the composer we learned about last week, loved it, and just a year later, the audience stood up and cheered after hearing it at a concert performance. Thank you, Debussy, for showing us how to be creative with music.